Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video we are going to be doing a full face dewy look. I just recently uploaded the full face matte look for my dry skin girlies. So you know I had to follow up for those of you that love a dewy finish that have dry skin. So if you would like to know how to achieve that glowy dewy look for dry skin, then just keep on watching. All right, so we dived into a full face matte look. Now we're gonna dive into a full face dewy look. This is for my girlies that love a dewy finish, that have dry skin and want to know the correct way to achieve that look. So this is going to be a detailed video on the skin base, not so much eyes, but definitely more skin focused, how to achieve that flawless dewy look. Okay, so yeah, the first step is prepping your skin. So for prepping, this morning I washed my face and then I did a the Laneige creamy mist, and that is all that I have on my skin. So now we're gonna go in with moisturizer. Even though that spray is like a toner and moisturizer in one, we're gonna give our skin a little bit more moisture and hydration to it. So for that, we're gonna go in with the Laneige Water Bank Moisture Cream. This is for normal to dry skin. I really do love Laneige brand. I love their spray, I love their lips, I just love everything about Laneige. So we're gonna go in and moisturize the skin. All right, now that we are all moisturized, that is like the key to any makeup, is making sure your skin is prepped correctly and for your skin type, plus prep correctly for the type of look that you're trying to achieve. Now, us girls with dry skin, we need all the moisture, hydration, we need it all that we can get. I do want to just make a clarification with moisture and hydration. Hydration is going to be water. Think about hydrating your skin. That's more water based, where moisture is going to be more almost like oils type of vibe, just to kind of keep the skin nice, supple, and prepped. It's going to be typically a little thicker than like the gel creams. So after we have the skin nice and moisturized and hydrated, you can see the glow and the reflection to the skin. That is what we want. Next, we're going to continue on. We're going to go into a primer. I'm going to leave a few primers in the description box that I really love for like the glowy looks. The one that we're going to be using today is from MAC. This is the MAC Studio Radiance primer. I really also do love the Milk Hydra Grip. That one is going to be more on the gel side, so more like water based type of dewy hydration look, as well as the Refine and the Charlotte Tilbury, not Charlotte Tilbury, well yeah, because she is a primer. So the Charlotte Tilbury Moisture Cream, as well as the Bobbi Brown Face Base. Those are really good thick moisturizers plus primers that are really good for prepping the skin. So let's go in and prime the skin. So as you can see, it gives it a very glowy look. So we are all prepped. We're gonna go ahead and let it sit for like 30 seconds to a minute, just to let my skin absorb everything that we just applied to it. So that way when we go in with our foundation, everything glides and goes on seamless and there's no separation. All right, so now that we let it set, we're gonna go ahead and move into foundations. So there are a few foundations that I really love for achieving like that really glowy look, just depending on the coverage level. So like light coverage, I really do love the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, because you can actually build that one up a little bit. I love the Haus Labs. It is a very pretty dewy foundation. I really love the Patrick Ta foundation. It's so pretty, so glowy, so skin-like. You could build that one up as well. The Dior, I like the Dior, is it Forever Skin, whatever, the glow one. That is really pretty as well. However, I wish their color range would become a lot better. Who else is like my favorite? NARS. So NARS I love for a glowy look. I love the natural radiance, but you really want to make sure you're prepping your skin, because if you apply too much powders on there, it can go to the matter side. But for today, we're going to be using the Fenty Soft Lit Foundation, and we're going to be mixing it in with the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundations. These are really good medium to full coverage foundations that give a glow to the skin. So we're going to mix these bad boys up. And we're also gonna give it a little bit more glow with the Hollywood Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury. I'm gonna use number 5. It's always good to, like, if you're trying to achieve that really glowy look, to add in a luminous like mixer to kind of give it a little oomph and reflection. The Charlotte Tilbury is one of my favorites, as well as MAC. They have the Hyper Real, it's called Hyper Real Foundation, where you can mix it in, as well as Dior has one. I just feel like the Dior is not as dewy. I feel like that's going to be perfect for somebody that likes the matte finish but wants a little bit of the natural reflection, because it does dry down to a matter feel. I know Patrick Starr came out with the mixer, the Hydro Boost, or like the thinner, to kind of give more luminosity to his foundations. So once I get my hands on that, we will be trying that out. But for now, let's go in with the Fenty. I'm gonna go in with Fenty, and then I'm gonna mix the Fenty 445. I think I'm gonna mix it with the 14 Cool from Charlotte Tilbury. So I'm just gonna do like 1 pump of that one. And let me look at the other Charlotte tone. Well, actually, I'll lie. I'm gonna do the 14 Neutral from Charlotte. If I can get some out. There we go. So I'm gonna do a little bit of the 14 Neutral and a little bit of the Cool, and then I'm gonna do 2 pumps of the Fenty 445. I love how the Fenty 445 looks by itself on me, but I want to add a little extra oomph, and you guys, I know that I love to mix. So we just gonna keep it rolling like I love to mix. All right, so going in with a brush, let's go ahead and mix it and apply. And I realized I did not clean my brows up. I'm gonna have to do that in a second. All right, so I'm just starting with a little bit and building up. Again, you want to make sure when you're trying to build coverage in a certain area, you want to stamp it in. Stamping it, bouncing it like a basketball in one area, move a little bit, move to the next area, stamp, stamp, stamp with light pressure, go to the next area and build, build, build. Anytime you start swiping, you're moving the product. It's going to diffuse it, but it's definitely going to shear it out a lot more. I typically go like blending when I'm doing my chin area, so that it's super diffused. But if I'm on my face, I am trying to build coverage. So 9 times out of 10, you're gonna see me stamping it like a basketball on my skin, even with the sponge blending applicator. So if you're trying to build coverage, remember to stamp, because it's essentially laying product on top of each other.
Lemons. How do you spell lemons?
You tell me, baby.
I don't know how to spell
Yes, you do. You are extremely smart. Sound it out.
L.
Okay.
I don't know. E.
Okay. L.
M. O. N.
Told you. You just gotta try a little bit. All right, so the next key part to blending out your foundation is going to be a damp sponge. The damp sponge is going to keep the moisture in your skin, and it's also going to pick up the excess product that is on your skin, and it's going to kind of give it like this soft, blurred airbrush look. So a sponge is always going to be key when applying makeup for the dewy look. So I'm just going to kind of go back over it with a sponge and kind of just stamp it in. I always go into what's left on the back of my hand with the sponge and then go into my face. That way it's not removing too much of what we just laid down. It is just blending seamlessly and creating an even canvas. So it's kind of like laying down while picking up the product. So I love laying down the product with a brush and then going back over it with the sponge. Like so. So we are still very glowy, very dewy, but even. All right, so the next step is going to be concealer. I have a few concealers that I like to kind of keep on the dewier side, more hydrated. It's okay to do like a it's okay to do like a semi-matte concealer as well, just because dewy and hydrating concealers are great for underneath the eyes. However, they do tend to like slip a little bit or might crease a little bit more than the matte ones. So even if you have a matte and a dewy one, you can mix those together to create like your own happy medium. All right, so a few of my favorite creamy concealers. One is from Too Faced, the Too Faced Born This Way. Another one is from Hourglass. Hourglass is extremely pretty, nice, really good, nice coverage. The Westman Atelier is a very pretty, glowy, hydrated concealer. It is on the pricier side of the spectrum. However, it is very gorgeous. Today, we're gonna go in with the Haus Lab concealers. I'm gonna use 40 to start off with. No, I'm gonna use, 40 to start off with, because even though the number is lower than this one, the tones are different. So this one is a little deeper, whereas this one is a little brighter on me. So we're gonna start off with 40 to go in. And then we're gonna go into number 41 right on top. Well, actually 41 is a little warmer than 40. In the container, 41 looked a little brighter. Okay. Not gonna do any on my chin, well, in the center, just a little, not a lot. All right, so we're gonna let this sit for a second and we're gonna move into bronzing and contouring the face. So cream contouring and cream bronzing. The reason I let it sit, one, because it is a little bit on the hydrating side. So if it sets down a little bit, it's gonna give you the most coverage out of the concealer, so it won't slip and it won't slide. You'll get the most coverage out of it and it'll blend out a little bit easier, not easier, but flawlessly. A little bit more flawless. You know what I mean. So for bronzing, we're gonna go into the Danessa Myricks. You guys know that I love this Yummy Skin Tint. What is this? No, the Yummy Skin Balm. I love this stuff for bronzing. This one is in number 10. So we're just gonna go ahead and bronze the skin while the concealer is setting a little bit. So start here. I always start on the top of my ears and I bring it in, and I don't come in any further than the outer part of my eye. So from the top of my ear to the outer part of my eye is the placement as far as how high. And then I don't come lower than the middle of my ear. So I'm not blending down. I'm always gonna push and push up. So up like this. So I don't want the contour or bronzer to be any lower than the middle of my ear. So same on this side, place it. and temples, and then blend up. All right, forehead. Okay, so you see how I really warmed up the skin as if we were on a beach in the sun catching a tan. That's what we want. Next, we're gonna go into contour, and I grabbed the Patrick Toss. She's chiseled, but I honestly feel like I could get the other one that I brought. Yeah. All right, so for cream contour, I'm gonna use the Patrick Ta. She's defined, and I'm just gonna go into this and really contour, well, chisel out the cheekbones and emphasize it. So the main difference between a bronzer and a contour: a bronzer is gonna warm up your skin as if you were to get a tan, whereas a contour is going to show shadows. So if you want anything to kind of go away, like, oh, I have a double chin, oh, I want my cheekbones to look higher, that is when you would contour. So I want you to ask yourself, like, what am I trying to do? Am I trying to get a tan and warm up my skin as if I was on a beach? Or am I trying to lift my cheekbones? Am I trying to show that my cheekbones exist? Am I trying to make something go away? Am I trying to make something go smaller? If you are, then you are trying to contour. So contours you will see in black and white. So for example, now we are in black and white. So you would always, the shadows that are on me are contouring. Bronzer does not typically show up in black and white photos because it is on the color of like reds and warms, whereas contours will show up in photos because they are on the black cool tone spectrum. So let's go in and contour. So I'm gonna do one side just for reference. So as you can see, the contour made all of this part deeper, which in turn is going to cast a shadow. So my cheeks look higher and lifted, whereas this side is just warm red and bronzed. We want to create a shadow. So you can see this kind of created a shadow and a chisel that makes my cheekbones appear to be sitting higher. Also, we can do it down here to make a little bit of this double chin go away, which I ain't opposed of, and a little bit here. So it receded this part right here. Also gonna do a little bit on the side of my nose so you can see that as well. I'm gonna use the first one. She's chiseled for my nose just because it's not as deep as she's defined. And I don't want my nose contour to be super like dominant and prominent. I just kind of want it to be softer. And I always drag it through my brows. So as you can see, it's cooler. It's not as warm and red as this side. All right, let's go ahead and finish chiseling the cheeks. All right, now that we are bronzed, cream bronzed and cream contoured, we're gonna go in and blend out the concealer. So I'm gonna start again with blending out with a brush first. So just stamping it into place. I always start with the center of my face because that is where I don't need extreme coverage in the center. I want to keep most of the coverage underneath the eyes, so I always blend out in the center first. And now that it's been sitting for a while, you're going to get the most coverage out of your concealer. Bring it up to the sides of my nose. And still stamping and keeping it in that area. All right, now that we have everything placed and blended out, first I'm gonna go back in with the bronzer contour brush that we use and stamping over where everything kind of overlaps and lays and meets. So right here, this needs to be blended because you can see it starts right here, it stops on where it stops. We want to go over that to make it a seamless transition, so you can't really see where it starts and stops. You see it kind of gradually fade into one another. And then also here, you can kind of see where it starts and stops. We're gonna go back over that to eliminate where you can see where it starts and stops. So now it just looks like an even fade. Even here, you can see that harsh line. We're gonna take the butt of the sponge where we did the foundation and go over it so it's soft. See? Like that. So same thing on this side. Kind of going underneath it, not dragging down, literally stamping on it back and forth to soften it. And then we're gonna take the tip of the sponge and just go over where we did the concealer. When I get to my nose, I kind of pinch it a little to keep it thin in the center, and then also the forehead. Take the butt again, go back over the edges, underneath. Stamping like a basketball. We're not stamping crazy hard, very light pressure, like that. Very light pressure. And then right up in here. Now we are all blended out. You can't really see where anything starts, where it stops. There's no harsh lines from concealer to bronzer to contour to foundation. Everything is blurred. All right, next we're gonna go into the blush. So we're gonna do some, I was in between the Fenty one, the Rose Latte or Spicy. I'm actually thinking, now that I'm looking at it, I think I'm gonna go in with the Fenty. This is Rose Latte from Fenty. It is a cream blush, and we're just gonna go over right here with it. So right here. It's really not even showing up a lot. We work the brush in. There we go. So right on top of the cheeks. It's a very pretty color. So for the dewy look, creams and liquids that finish off or stay dewy are going to be your best friends when trying to create that glowy, dewy look. Okay, then I'm gonna take a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury. I typically would mix this in with the foundation, but we're just gonna kind of go over this area with it. This is number 7, right on top of the blush. So up in here. Up in here. There we go. All right, and next we're gonna take the sponge again. I'm gonna dip whatever's left and go underneath my eye. Very light pressure to blend where we just did the blush and the Charlotte highlighter. Boom. Center of the nose to kind of get back definition. All right, next we're gonna go ahead and set So we're going to be using the Hourglass. There are a few luminous powders that work. The Givenchy, it's not luminous, but it does give like a soft matte look. It blurs underneath the eyes. But I know some people say that the formula has changed. In my shade, it really hasn't changed, but I know in the lighter shades it has. So I'm just going to kind of use a safe one that I know is luminous. It's beautiful. It's pretty, which is Hourglass. The Hourglass, I can use the regular Hourglass. I can use the Hourglass Honey, and then I can also use the Deep. So they are all very, very, very pretty powders. They keep the skin reflective, dewy, gorgeous. They're just very pretty powders. I'm gonna use it with the sponge. I'm gonna dip into the Hourglass, tap off the excess, and then go to the back of my hand to kind of even out the powder so that when I go underneath my eyes, it is a smooth, even set. So now I'm gonna go ahead and set. I'm gonna press lightly underneath my eye to set. And again, tap off the excess, go onto the back of my hand to set. Lightly, don't press super hard. If you need more, grab more. Let's keep stamping. I think I'm gonna go in a little bit with the honey as well. There we go. So this is the original, this is the medium honey. So it's just a little deeper, not crazy. There's not a lot of difference, but I think I do want to apply a little bit more of the honey underneath. Okay. And down the center of my nose. So everywhere I put the concealer, I am going to apply this powder, because we wanted to set everything. And then once we go in with our dewy setting spray, it's gonna bring all of the glow back from us, not mattifying, but setting, because we didn't really mattify. We're just setting the areas. And you wanna make sure you get around your nose so that you don't have that caked up look. Like, see? It doesn't look cake, but if it can, if you don't set in or blend, it will pile up right there, and we don't want that. So I'm just making sure all of the areas that I put concealer are set before we move on to setting the rest of the face. All right, so it is set, however, it is not a flat matte. So you can see there's reflection still all up underneath my eyes. It's not a flat matte set. All right, so next we're gonna go into the Rare Beauty powder to set the rest of the face. This powder does also have some reflection to it. Again, I know Kosas has a powder. I haven't tried it yet. I think, is it Kosas that has it? I want to say it's Kosas, and then I think there's one by Haus Labs that has, or is it Say? It's between Haus Labs and Say that has like a reflective powder. So we're gonna go in and we're gonna set with the Rare Beauty in medium. So I'm gonna get a large fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna take it and swirl it in and set everywhere else. So not swiping, pressing this powder into the skin. So everywhere else that we did not set, take this powder and lay it on top. So this is gonna set everything without taking the shine or the glow away. It's gonna keep the skin reflective. So you see it's still glowy, you still see some luminosity, and that is what you want. Just stamping it into the skin. All right, so now that we're all set, you can see the skin is still very reflective. However, it is set. Now when we go in with our setting spray, it's gonna melt everything and then bring all of the glow back from what we kind of mattified, but mostly set. All right, so we're gonna move into bronzer. So bronzer, there are a few glowy, dewy, reflective bronzers that I love. NARS has some that have a little sheen to them. Who else has some? I have a Huda one, but I feel like that might be just only on her website. I love that bronzer. Who else has a glowy bronzer? I feel like that might be really it. Kosas has one, but I feel like it's a bronzer, but it is also very so much a highlighter. So I kind of go in between if it's a bronzer or a highlight. So yeah. But we're gonna use the Armani, what is this? The Armani Luminous Silk Bronzing Powder. I love this stuff. It is so good for bronzing. So this one is number 120. Such a good bronzer. We're just gonna press it onto the cheekbones. Right on top of where we bronzed. Forehead. Just warms up the skin, so pretty, and it also has a reflective finish. Like, it looks like it's glitter, but on the skin it doesn't look like glitter. It just looks so glowy and so warm. So you see the glow from the powder. It's so good, so good. All right, then I am gonna top it off a little bit with the Kosas one. This is the Kosas, the Sun Show. I'm just gonna go kind of like on top a little to kind of enhance it, see? And then a little bit on the forehead area. Okay, then for blush, we're gonna go into the Pat McGrath. So now this part is more so what kind of vibe you're going for with this dewy look. I'm gonna go to more of like a peachy tone. This is the Pat McGrath blush in Paradise Venus. This is one of my favorite blushes from her. I love her blushes. They're so good, so pigmented, and they just blend into the skin so well. They're not like a flat matte blush, but she does also have some that have like the glow and the matte with them. But I just love her blushes. They're so good, and so pigmented. So as you can see, we got a cheek. All right, so I'm just gonna lightly dust over with the sponge. Again, I always keep my sponge handy because this is going to help with reinforcing your blending. So there's the cheeks, there's the skin. It looks so good, so good, so good. Wait till we set. So for the eyes, I think I'm just gonna do, all right, so for the eyes, I think I'm just gonna go in with like my good old handy dandy concealers from Rare Beauty, 540C and 560W, and use these as an eyeshadow. I'm not really gonna do any eye work because I really want to show you guys the Flawless Dewy base. So a little bit of both. And we're just gonna buff this out. We're gonna use this as a shadow and call it a day. So when I'm blending this out, I'm also kind of wiping it off after I blend it in. And I did not clean up my brows, which I'm kind of like, they still look good, but I'm debating if I should. I might clean it up just a little bit. We'll see. Let me see if there's anything left up in here. I'm gonna deepen up the brow just a little. This is my preference. You don't have to do this. Anytime I'm blending though, or like once I'm almost done with my eyebrows, all of the powders are complete, I typically go back in and touch up my brows because, you know, sometimes powders fall on it. Sometimes things get wiped away from blending. So I'm just kind of reinforcing my brow in case anything wiped away. Like so. Cool.
Whose package?
TT. And then typically the front of my brow wipes away because I blend in the bronzer and contour to it. So you see the dew is starting to still come back through. That's what we want. I'm gonna go in with highlighter right now. For a highlighter, I'm gonna start with the Sephora collection highlighter. Or no, I'm gonna start with the Rare Beauty highlighter first. And this is the Rare Beauty Reflect highlighter. And I'm just gonna do it on the tops of my cheeks. This is a little bit on the warmer side, which is okay because we're gonna top it off with the Sephora one, which is cooler. So this is the Sephora collection Colorful Luminizer in number 4. This is called Blinding Bronze, and it is a cooler, let me see, there we go. It's a cooler toned highlighter. So just gonna kind of top that off to cool it down. And here. So this is for my girls that love all the glow. On my cheeks, the center. Gonna look like a bronzed goddess. And then in the center of my forehead, very little. Like so. So now you see it's super duper reflective. I'm also gonna reinforce the powder bronzer. I'm gonna go into She's Chiseled and lightly reinforce my nose contour. Not harsh, very soft. Just to kind of create that structure again. All right, next we're gonna go in with, I'm gonna do a little bit of eyeliner and mascara. Eyeliner, I think I'm gonna keep it in the chocolate vibe and use my handy dandy Ride or Die eyeliner from Gwen Stefani. This is the eyeliner called Settle Brown in the waterline. Let's add a little bit of this luminizer from Sephora, and we're gonna do it in the inner corner of the eye, right here. There we go. So just make it pop a little bit. To do the, what is this? Not even Kat Von D no more. KVD liquid liner in Mad Max Brown. I really love her color. I think I'm gonna do a small wing too. All right, next let's go into mascara. We're gonna move to lips in the meantime and then come back and do lashes. Chestnut from MAC, you know it's my staple. I know I need to pull out the new one, but not yet. Rebel Kind from NYX. Deepen. All right, so for lips, we're gonna go into Joyride from Huda Beauty. And then for the topper, we're gonna go into, this is Refi in Fawn. Just gonna squeeze it out and then apply it with a brush. All right, y'all, I don't know what lashes these are. I'm so sorry, like so sorry, but we're gonna use them. I have no clue. I kind of saved my lashes. And now we are going to strategically mattify the face so that the reflection and the glow is kind of isolated, so that it's not glowy all over where it looks greasy. We want it to look like a healthy, luminous finish. So I don't want to look oily, I want to look glowy. So we're going to use the Huda Beauty Peach Pie Powder, any mattifying powder that you have on hand. We're going to tap it in with a powder puff and dab it off. And then I'm going to go right here around the nose, on the side of the nose, right here to like right here. And then the same on the other side, right here and this side of the nose, on this side, not going all the way over, everywhere. And then corners of the mouth, and then corners of this mouth. I typically don't like this glowy in the front, so I'm gonna mattify that out a little bit because I don't want it to look oily in my brows. And then along here just a little. Reverse it where there's nothing on it and just stamp it in till it disappears. And then go back over wherever you laid the mattifying powder to stamp over. So it just brought down some of the glow so it doesn't look oily, you look glowy. You get what I'm saying? All right, so let's go in with the lashes really quick. Okay, lashes are on. I think I want to deepen up my liner just a little bit because it's pulling a little red. So I'm gonna do that with, we'll use this brow pencil from Milani. It's called the Stay Put brow. And it's cooler, so that's the reason I'm going in with it, because it's on the cooler side and I want to take a little bit of the red away. So you see how it took away the red tone? You could do this with your brow pencils because brow pencils typically pull a little cooler. There we go. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and set the face. So you have options for setting to keep it hydrated, to keep it glowy. I'm gonna show you the ones that are like ride or die. All right, so because we did so much glowy makeup, you can just go in with the All Nighter from Urban Decay. This is just gonna keep it where it is. If you want to intensify the glow, you're gonna go in with the Urban Decay All Nighter, the hyaluronic acid watermelon fruit extract one. This is gonna give you that extra glow. Then if you want some more glow, or another option for glow, you can go in with the Urban Decay All Nighter Extra Glow Long Lasting Makeup Setting Spray. So I haven't cracked this open quite yet. Then if you want more like skincare slash glow, you can go with the Caudalie. This one is a really good. You can use it before makeup, during makeup, after makeup to kind of keep the glow going. Love that stuff. And then you can also go in with the Refi setting spray. This is also going to keep your makeup nice, hydrated, glowy, dewy look. So I think for this one, I'm going to mix. As always, I'm gonna go in first with the watermelon one. Oh wait, no wait. I'm trying to, there we go. The watermelon one. That was kind of aggressive. And then take the powder brush and go over everything, lightly stamping it in. It's going to take away all of the powdery look from the powders that we mattified with the Urban Decay Original All Nighter. And this is just going to lock it in some more. So go back in, lightly set. All right. So this is the completed look. I love how it came out. This is for all of my girls that have dry skin and like I really want to create that very glowy, dewy, lit from within, glossy, healthy look. This is for you. I love how it turned out. I hope you really like how everything worked together. It's really about prepping and products and just kind of placing and knowing where to place certain things, especially when it comes to like a glowy look, because you can very easily look oily. And the goal is not oily, the goal is glowy. So just mattifying certain areas with the mattifying powder would really help the glowy part of your makeup stand out. So yes, we did glowy all over. However, you saw at the end, we took the powder and we kind of just set right here with the mattifying powder, set around the nose with the mattifying powder. And I did my brows because I personally don't like that glowy in the brow look. So I did that because that kind of reflects, for me personally, it reflects more oils than glow. So I mattified here because around the nose as well, it shows off more oily than glowy. And then around the mouth, only to help the gloss kind of pop against a mattified surface. And then along the cheekbones underneath, a very light set to kind of lift the cheek so you see a separation between textures. That is another thing when you're trying to mattify and show glow. More matte finishes against a glowy is going to make a glowy stand out some more. So I hope my tips and my tricks helped you out. I hope you learned a lot. You know, everything is not for everybody. You could take bits and pieces of this, but I wanted to show you a way that you can achieve a glowy look for dry skin that helps and works with dry skin. Yeah, we did the one for my dry skin girlies that like to look matte. This is for my dry skin girlies that like to look glowy. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also hit that post notification bell so you stay up to date every time I upload and you don't miss an upload. And yeah, until next time, bye guys.